First question, as ever, to you, Tim Watson. Should Ross Lyon show more respect and wait until the questions are finished from the journos before leaving the room?
Look, I think it's always nice to show people respect, but I think in a situation like that, he's probably... What we don't know is how many times the same question has been asked. I think there comes a time where you probably just about had a gutful, because when you do hear the same question, Michael, and this is just a little bit of advice for you if you ever go into a post-match press conference, OK, if the same question is asked over and over and over again, I think you're entitled probably just to stand up and walk out and just smile like he did. I mean, I think he did that reasonably respectfully.
All right, Wayne, are the Brisbane Lions a genuine premiership contender this year?
Not this year for me. They're tracking very nicely. They're going to win a lot of games at home. They're making that a fortress again up there in Brisbane. But I think they'll just miss the finals this year. They're building nicely. I think you don't want to get to the finals a little bit too quick, Darcy. And I think they're building nicely.
Really?
I think they'll just miss this year. I might be proven wrong. By the way, if they do make the 8, then the answer simply is yes, they are a chance, because if you're in the 8, you are a chance. But I don't think this year. I think next year and beyond. All
right, Luke, the Sydney Swans, 19 finals out of 20 years, contested ball was their main game. Have the Swans now lost their identity?
Yeah, they have. I think they're finding out what it's like to come back to the pack a little bit. I don't think they've got the depth of talent across their side to compete at the level. Buddy Franklin suddenly looks immortal for the first time. They missed him last week, and he's, still a champion player, but not the devastating effects. So they've got a bit of pain coming their way, Sydney, for a couple of years. I think it's going to be pretty tough.
All right, Wayne, another one for you. Has Jordan Lewis played on 1 year too long?
Oh, look, if you look at Jordan's form this year, which hasn't been solid, but it's because he's actually had injuries. He obviously missed the start of the year, and he's been back in for 3 weeks now. I don't think he's at 100% fitness. His form hasn't been fantastic, but I think you judge that at the end of the year. They got Jordan Lewis to this footy club for leadership and a number of different reasons. I think we should probably lay off a guy that has had an unbelievable record. He's a decorated player, been a fantastic player, and I think he's got excuses. And I'm not making an excuse for him. I think he's got excuses for where he sits right now. Does he need to go back maybe and play 2 or 3 weeks in the VFL to get his confidence? He actually looked, for the first time, he looked like he lacked a little bit of confidence on the weekend. I have watched him play 3 times live over the last 4 weeks.
Would you pick him next week?
For me, he needs to get a little bit of confidence for me. But is he finished for the year? No.
Would you pick him next week?
I would send him back to get a little bit of confidence next week.
All right, Darcy, should Essendon be stripped of the country game after yesterday's performance?
It's an interesting question you raise, Mick, because I'm told the fine people at Dimbull are particularly upset with the Essendon performance. They promote the country game. I mean, the Bulldogs have one Good Friday game and strip it off the Bulldogs because of a poor performance. Well, wasn't a great showing yesterday for your Bombers, Wispy, and perhaps the country game should be shared around.
They let the people down, Tim.
Yeah, no, I'd take it off them immediately. I would make sure that by 12 o'clock tonight, they are well aware of the fact that they no longer have the country game. Come on, who else is going to be promoting it other than Kevin Sheedy? This whole thing is his invention. It's the Essendon game because he's been able to do what he's been able to do. I was disappointed. I was disappointed with the crowd there yesterday. I thought there'd be more than
63.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more than 63 there for Essendon and Geelong.
Outside the ground, to be walking around and there's a cow and a goat and a couple of chickens. I thought it was fantastic. It was like a festival outside the MCG yesterday.
Any ducks outside? Did you see?
I saw some ducks.
Family members?
Last questions for you, Tim. I want you to have a listen to this commentary from Saturday night first.
OK.
Sends it forward. Gowers from behind, you beauty. The eyes were darting late, Johannesson. Like he was initially confident, but he's found a way to get it all the way home. JJ. McRae off for the contested mark number 8.
Should Luke Darcy stand aside from calling Western Bulldogs games?
Well, this is a really uncomfortable question to answer given that Luke's so close to me right now. But I don't know that most people were aware watching the game that had you been able to press the red button, which is what we heard there, you would have been able to get the Bulldog bias commentary, which is what we heard. There was Dougie Hawkins in special comments alongside Mark Stevens, alongside Doug. So I don't know that many people knew that was available to them on Saturday night. But congratulations on you for doing that.
If anyone shouldn't comment on their bias, it's the Essendon champion, Tim Watson. It was you call the game as you see it. What it was supposed to do, Aaron Norton takes a really poor mark.
It was exciting stuff, wasn't it?
Sorry about getting up for a game that was well played. Did get a little bit excited.